fellas, welcome back to Cringe Confessional, the most embarrassing show on the internet. My name is Coney, and I set up a Google form. It's at cringe.coney.gg, and there you can submit and confess your most embarrassing moments and your darkest secrets, and no one will ever know about it unless the FBI raids me and forces me to track down your IP. A lot of people have submitted some stories, and we're going to go over them today with the good help of my friend, the CringeBot 9000. Let's get to some cringing.
At the time of this story, I was in 8th grade. My school was wanting to be cool, so they set up an esports team to compete with the other Catholic schools in my area.
Okay.
Among the games that were featured was Mario Kart 8.
Damn, you know what's crazy? I can't tell how old this person is, because that game's been around for like 2 decades. Like most times when people say shit like this, you can kind of like gauge it, right? You can age them. This person could have gone to Catholic school, you know, a decade ago or a year ago. We'll never know.
I had been playing Mario Kart with my dad since I was around 4 or 5.
Okay, maybe the same Mario Kart when he was 4 or 5.
So, my dad thought I would be a good fit for the team.
Okay.
Long story short, he made me sign up.
Okay.
Our team was pretty good, so we made it to the playoffs.
It's kind of weird for your dad to get you, to force you to be on the Mario Kart team. Like, most dads are, like, into team sports and shit. Your dad's a dork.
In the third match, we arrived at the library where the match was being held and noticed that the team we were facing happened to have a very young kid, maybe in around 2nd or 3rd grade.
No, it is a gamer rage moment.
He happened to be 3rd in the rotation, and when he arrived to face me, the kid was crying.
What about?
He pleaded with me to go easy on him, saying that he lost the past 2 games and didn't want to go winless.
Okay, I keep making fun of this, but I want you guys to know I've been that kid before with Pine Derby racing and Cub Scouts. I was him. I never won a single Pine Derby race, and I cried. Never mind. I feel bad for this kid now. I hope you went easy on him.
I didn't exactly know what to say, which ended up in me coldly staring him down as he cried at me.
Oh my god.
We played the match and I beat him
Waluigi
extremely
Wiggler.
easily, which caused him to cry even more. He yelled at me through his tears, saying stuff like, "You're not cool," and "You monster."
You monster? Oh my god, dude. He's right about the first part. But you monster?
I never apologized to him, and that kid must have talked to everyone he could, because when I went back to school that Monday,
what are you
one of
doing,
my
man?
friends pulled me aside to say something along the lines of, "Why did you make that kid cry? I'm regretting ever being your friend."
Yeah, why couldn't you
This
have been
was not
nice?
an isolated event. I went from being a kid that, while quiet, was respected,
Yeah.
to being public enemy number 1 at my school.
Good.
That's the story of how I lost many of my friends and
Good.
acquaintances over a Mario Kart tournament.
Good, and I hope it was a teachable moment. I hope you learned something from that. Even if you're not going to let him win, he didn't tell you to let him win. He just said to go easy on him, and you couldn't do that. You didn't even say no. Apparently, you didn't even say, "No, I'm going to try really hard." You just looked at him? I'm embarrassed to have you as a viewer. Why don't you go watch PewDiePie or something? Go watch Markiplier or Mark Rober. I don't want you in here. He probably picked dry bones in like the shoe and the big tires, which we all know is the worst cart in Mario Kart, because we all stay in touch with the meta. He probably just picked that, and you probably just went super hard on him. You're a piece of shit. I hope everybody that tries to get close to you gets told this story.
For context, all this happened when I was in 3rd grade.
So piece of shit beat me at Mario Kart when I pleaded for him not to.
One night at home, I woke up needing to pee desperately. Normally this was of no issue. I was a big boy and could hold it in.
Okay.
But there was an issue.
What was it?
Like many children at the time, I was afraid of the dark, and the only way to the bathroom was down a long dark hall where the light switch was on the far end.
It's not a pee story.
I battled with myself internally, debating between wetting myself and fighting the unknown. But then my eyes came upon salvation.
What happened?
On my shelf was my big Super Soaker water gun, the 2-handed type that
No
puts out a large
way.
blast every pump.
No way! How? Okay. No, okay.
I quickly relived myself into the tank of the water gun, and then soundly went back to bed.
Okay.
Me being a dumb child, completely forgot about this incident.
Oh, I'm gonna throw up.
This was during the cold season.
Oh my god.
So the soaker stayed there for months.
Oh my god, it's fermenting in there. It's gonna ferment and get like bugs and bacteria and shit. Oh my god, dude.
Much later, me and my friend were hanging out in my room, playing with toys, for no particular reason, He picked up the water gun and noticed it was filled
Did
when
you?
he
Surely
shook
you
it.
told him. Surely
I
you
saw
stopped
him
him.
do this,
Surely-
and at the same time,
No,
remembered with
no,
horror what wasn't there.
no, don't shoot the
Time
gun.
slowed
Don't shoot the
down,
gun. No!
Before I could even get a don't out, he had already
Oh
unleashed the
my
blast at me.
god!
What was to be a silly little splash of water turned into an
Rancid!
unholy dark stream of rancid urine that directly nailed me.
Dude, it's probably like dark, right? That shit was sitting for months.
To the credit of the soaker's designers,
Yeah?
it sealed the smell perfectly because the second the aged piss was exposed to the world and mostly me, I immediately vomited.
Yeah,
And my physical
I
senses
bet.
were totally overwhelmed.
I bet.
The
Yeah.
next hour was composed of both of us retching non-stop, my parents trying to get the story out of me as I gagged over the toilet, and then doing whatever we could to clean.
Wait, so your parents are begging to know what happened. The parents just run in and they just see their son and his friend just dry heaving, violently vomiting over a toilet. What the fuck happened in here? Oh, I want to throw up. It's rare for a gross out story to have an effect on me. I'm having a visceral reaction to this. You know what, though? You're right. Big ups to Super Soaker for not letting that leak out. I can't believe that you couldn't tell for months and months.
So I was watching porn at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Okay. Good hook.
And not just any porn. I am a closeted bisexual, so I was watching some gay hentai.
I'm invested. Okay, I'm bought in.
Anyway, when entering one of these sites, something got downloaded automatically and I had no idea what it was.
Okay.
For whatever reason. When it got downloaded, the prompt for sharing it popped up and the first contact that came up was my contact for my work boss, because he was the last person I had sent some work files.
Wait, what? Back up. Get back to the gay hentai. What happened to that downloaded something to share to your whole network? I don't think that happened. I think you accidentally sent some gay hentai to your boss, and then you sent the story to Cringe Confessional so you could show your boss later and be like, oh, remember when that happened to me? Oh, I can't. Just like what I told you happened. I didn't mean to send that to you. Oh, it was a big accident. Whoops.
I unknowingly pressed the share button, and when I realized what was happening, I closed off all apps in my phone so that the file doesn't get shared.
I don't know how this story ends, but I hope it ends with like a Christopher Nolan, like Inception. Like, did he send it or not? And he goes to work the next day, and his boss acts like nothing happened. And then the whole time he works there, does he know? Did he get that file? Did you get that thing I sent you?
Button, and when I have no idea what was in that file, but it seemed like it didn't got sent.
Okay.
I felt a bit relieved the file didn't went through, but then my fucking phone rang and it was my boss at 3 a.m.
You were sitting in your bed at 3 a.m. watching gay hentai, and then you accidentally send some to your boss, and you close all your shit and you think you're safe, and then you hear this. Dude, that's genuinely so scary, right? I would have a violent reaction to that song for the rest of my life. Oh my god, that's actual trauma.
Obviously, I don't pick up being in a panic state. I thought I was gonna get fired or something, but fortunately no one ever brought this up, and I hope he doesn't ever know what was going on then.
Wait, that's how the story ends. Did he get the hentai? Because he called back. It actually is a does he know moment. It's just like the Riddler. Please just call it Yowie. Is that what it is? Oh, it is, isn't it?
When I was about 8-9 years old, me and my parents went to a little pet store, and while my parents were shopping for some cat food, I was looking at the fish in the tanks like I usually did.
Right.
And I find this cool fish that had slightly transparent skin so you would see its skeleton,
Ugh.
so I get the bright idea to put it in my pocket.
Wait. You stole the fish? You're 8 or 9 years old and you just reached into an aquarium and stole a fish. Did you not know that they can't breathe? I mean, I guess you're not old enough to know consequences by that point.
I was sitting awfully quiet in the 30-minute ride home, and
Okay.
when I eventually
Half
came
an
home, I
hour
was going to
with
prepare
no
my fish a
oxygen.
new home. It wasn't doing very well at all, so I take a little cardboard toy box and put him there. I completely forgot about it 10 minutes later.
Oh my god. You exposed one of God's creatures to the most inhumane suffering possible because he was pretty. You realize what you've done? You're a monster. Jesus.
I was looking through my room 7 years later and I found him not doing so well. His name was Beryl, I think.
We don't even remember the name. We can't even honor his memory properly. We stole a fish out of a tank. We didn't pay for it. Put it in our pocket. Brought it home. put it in a box, left it for 7 years, found it. We gave it a name and then forgot about it. Kids are fucked up, dude. There's that period between when they're young and they care about stuff and they're sentimental and whatever, nice, and when they get old enough to know that you're not supposed to kill shit. That is the danger zone. It's like between I don't know, 6 and 10, maybe? It's just funny the kid picked up this fish for the skeleton. I know that was all that's left, right? I guess they don't decompose in a box. Oh, dude, how did it not smell? It's a tiny fish. Ugh.
Back in middle school, a couple of my friends introduced me to DeviantArt after we discovered we all liked an anime called Soul Eater.
Okay.
We ended up having our own little creator group, where we made ox who interacted with each other and made some stories with them all together.
You know what? God bless you for finding people that are your kind. I feel like that'd be a very difficult thing to find. You're already too far gone. No. I mean, if you're into that stuff and you find a group of people who will also indulge in that behavior, that's fine. But it could end badly.
After digging through their profiles, I discovered they made some hidden fanfiction.
Uh-oh!
Turns out it was erotic fanfiction, and man, do I wish I would have just thought it was weird and moved on at the time.
What did you do?
Unfortunately, I was inspired.
No.
I made 2 of my own erotic fanfictions.
No way!
It seemed like my friends liked my second one, but I found out they had posted their own reading of it on YouTube.
So this is like getting shared around and they know that it's yours? And now they're reading it on YouTube? This is getting out of control so fast. Dude, you gotta leave these people. They're bad. This is toxic.
Luckily, no one at my school found out.
Thank God for that.
That was mainly due to the fact that my dad found out about it and confronted me about it after football practice.
Oh my God!
He told me to tell my friends to take down that video and delete the stories I wrote.
W Dad, though. Because he could have just let that rock and not stepped in and not done anything. He saved your fucking life. You should give him a hug right now.
Luckily, a couple years later, I
Thank
realized
God, dude.
how horribly cringe all of this was and deleted my account.
Good. You got the good ending. God bless you. Find the archives. No, we're gonna leave that shit in the past. I tremble for what the new generation has to live through. Everything living on the internet forever. Not knowing that something is cringe until 5 to 10 years later with hindsight and looking back and saying, fuck, everybody I know saw that. I put my name on that. This could happen to you, Coney. Nope. My most cringe, embarrassing stuff was on AOL, which I don't even know if you can... I don't think there's a way to look that up, find that. Also, my mom was a W mom. She told me to never put my name on the internet. So, thank you, Mom. You have a good dad. Bless him for doing that. And honestly, it sounds like if he got you into football too, you guys have a good relationship. You were in football, but you had other interests like anime or whatever else, right? And he caught you at the right time and he said, hey, take that down. This is a good story. This ended the best way that it could have. If you're watching this video right now, you probably have something cringe from middle school. Please delete that now. I know that this audience, some of you guys might be in high school or maybe early college. Just think now and pause this video and go delete it. Just do it now. You're gonna forget later. Just do it now. I'll be here when you get back.
I was really into modding the Nintendo Wii when I was in middle school.
See, that's a good-ass hobby to have in middle school. Much better than Soul Eater fanfic. Modding Wii's and shit? Dude, you're learning tinkering and technology? Maybe coding? Wicked.
One day I decided to modify a third Wii so I could set up another emulator to race Zelda and Metroid NES against my dad and brother. To do the Wii mod, you need a circa 2005 SD card.
Do you really?
I scoured the entire house and eventually found one in an empty checkbox from the bank. I had to use our spinny office chair to climb on top of the computer desk. This box was very, very well hidden.
Why were we hiding
Once I had it,
so much?
I opened the files up to make
What's
sure I
happening
wasn't
here?
going to lose anything important when formatting since it wasn't mine.
Okay. What's on the card?
I was horrified to find that it was no fewer than 3 images of my mother posing in black lace lingerie on the couch.
On an SD card. Not saved to the computer in a folder buried in a folder buried in a folder. Who keeps nudes on an SD card? That's what I'm saying. I don't need them to be portable. Only 3 fitting on that? That sounds like a like a yo mama joke.
I quickly pulled the SD card and returned everything to where it had come from before I could see anything else. It's been more than 10 years, but I will bear this burden to the grave.
Oh my
You are
God.
the first I have told.
That's a good story. That's a good story. So nobody knows. Do you tell your parents at some point? Surely at some point you have to tell your parents. I think you do at some... No, you can't. It might be funny, though. How the hell do you bring that up? I don't know. On vacation? Playing a board game? I don't know how the... Yeah, after many drinks. Yeah, maybe during Yahtzee, Pictionary, something like that. Cards Against Humanity blank card. Dad's hidden SD card. You play it, and everybody's like, what is he playing? And the dad is aware. It's like, yeah. You don't say anything else. You just talk about the images on the SD card, and everybody else can just kind of fill in the blanks.
It's the end of June, and I'm at this Christian summer camp.
She sounds like a robot,
7
but
to
it's
11
funny.
years old, having a grand old time.
Great.
It was Boys versus Girls Day. Essentially, the boys did boy activities, such as playing something called Gaga Ball in a muddy arena.
Gaga Ball?
We were having fun. Some kid got a rock in his eye, and it was eventually time to clean up. Instead of heading back to the cabins to shower, the counselors set this giant slip and slide which they put soap on. On like my third time on the slip and slide, I give myself a little running start to gain maximum speed.
Oh no.
What I didn't realize was a kid who went before me was just sitting at the end of the slip and slide.
Missile drop
I didn't
kick.
think much of it because it was so far away,
Okay,
and I thought he would get up and go before I was even close to him.
Yeah?
Well, if that were the case, I wouldn't be riding this
How
tail
bad
down
was
here.
it?
Instead,
Crack
I
some
crashed
vertebrae?
into him at Mach 10, and he is now crying out in pain. Counselors rush
Actual
over
Ronnie.
and take him away. We don't see him for the rest of the day. The next day, he came back in crutches and a cast. I had broke his fucking leg.
Okay.
I felt awful and helped him out whenever I could. The counselors
How
noticed
fast
and
were
I
you
got
going?
an award for kindest camper at the end of the week.
You got an award for that? For being kind? After crippling your fellow campmate?
However, there is one important detail I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
When the counselors scrambled over to help the kid out, both them and the kid did not see that it was me, and I didn't say anything about it.
Wait.
Additionally, the kid was my bunkmate in the cabin.
No
So for the whole week and months after, I was just haunted by my own
Nobody knew
guilt,
who did
and
it?
the award was not helping in the slightest.
No way. How do you break a kid's leg and not... what are the logistics of this? If my leg got broken, I would immediately look and see what did it. How do they not see what the fucking damage is? How did you get away with it? No witnesses at all? On a 40-foot slip and slide? Kid was likely in anguish and didn't notice. The kid is screaming at the top of his lung. How are you sneaking away from this crime scene after breaking a leg and nobody saw it? He was moving too fast. What, you think he slid down, hit the kid's leg, and then kept going? It was Mach 10. Mach 10 pretty fast. A slide by. That's a good story. Although it's... I don't believe that happened. That part at the end.
So for the whole weekend,
Wait.
I never told a soul about this until today.
I love all the stories tonight that are just like, I've never told anybody this. I love that this is the spot where people confess their deepest, darkest secrets.
Back in 7th grade, I was crushing hard on this girl for months.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knew, even her.
Uh-huh.
She actually asked me out one day, and I obviously said yes. But
Right.
later on in the day, my friend confronts me to talk about her. According to him, she was using me to make her ex jealous.
Oh, I bet she doesn't. I bet she really did care about him and she liked him. That's how this story goes. She wouldn't lie, right? Maybe he's into her. I just saw there's something about Mary. This happens in the movie.
I don't believe him.
Yeah, your friend
thinking
lied to
he's
take the
just
girl
messing
instead,
with me.
yeah.
And for several weeks, things go as smoothly as a 7th grade
Sure,
relationship can
holding
go.
hands, drawing on each other's arms. That limit reached? Bro, I'm paying $10 a month. I'm doing free voices.
Weeks later, she asks to meet me at our typical
my
spot at the
God.
school. She kisses me out of nowhere,
Uh-huh.
before admitting that she was using me to make her ex jealous.
Man, your friend was right. You gotta listen to the boys. I want you guys to know there's still half of this story left. There are more twists and turns than you can imagine. It's not over yet.
My friend was right. but since she kissed me and said she wanted to actually start dating,
Oh, no.
I forgive her and we start over.
Lil bro got cheated on. Oh, this is an AWOL story.
2 days later, I'm walking to class with her ex, and I see him texting on his phone. It's her. They are both saying I love you to each other.
No!
She was cheating on me.
No!
She calls me to our meeting spot after school, kisses me, and tells me she's leaving me for him.
Dude, no! Man! Fellas, I regret to inform you this is an AWOL moment. I hate to say it. Just when our content was becoming more diverse and tolerant and acceptant, it's an AWOL moment. 7th grade sucks. This isn't cringe, just sad. I agree, sad Machine 64. But wait, there's more.
They lasted 2 weeks, before breaking up and she tried to get together with
Oh
me.
my god!
After this, I transferred schools due to personal reasons.
Yeah, this sounds
but
pretty
was so
personal,
shaken
yeah.
up that I did
I
not
would
even
too.
attempt a relationship until I reached college.
That feels a little dramatic, but I get it. I get it. You're in a formative year.
The girl even
No, I
tried
get
to
it.
reach
I
out to
get
me
it.
after I left trying to talk to me, but I left her on read in Instagram DMs.
Dude, yeah.
Anyways, moral of the story, if your friend is telling you your crush is using you to make her ex jealous, believe them.
Fuck, man. That's the end of the story. That's the whole thing. Instagram, this is so recent. Yeah, dude. Oh, dude. I feel so bad for the guy, for real. Fuck, man. Good friend, though. Yeah, very good friend.
On the last day of middle
I
school,
love
me
this
and
one,
my
though. I
friends
love
skipped
Ryan.
class and planned on leaving early to buy McDonald's.
Cool.
As we approached one of the
Middle
school's
school again,
exits,
by
we
the
saw
way.
2 7th graders I had never met before. One of these kids had a plastic bright red popcorn bucket that he seemed proud of, and his friend jokingly threw it at the exit door 15 feet away.
Okay.
I honestly have no idea what happened, but an animalistic urge came over me, and without thinking I sprinted as fast as I could to the plastic popcorn bucket on the floor, and I jumped into the air. As I reached the peak of my arc, I heard the 7th grader behind me scream in pure terror my popcorn bucket before I let out a gladiator scream and slammed both of my feet violently into the ground.
What the fuck is happening in this story? Why are you chasing the popcorn bucket?
Immediately executing the popcorn bucket on sight brutally in front of its
Why?
owner. The worst part was that no one was in the halls, and it made one of the loudest echoes I had ever heard.
I can like hear the pop on this, like the air exploding, like it landed head and face down, and I can just hear it just bursting, man, like a new universe being born.
I panicked, ran out the door, abandoning my friends behind me, and I cried
What
by
the
myself
fuck?
on my walk home. However, this story at least has a happy ending. My friends came to my house after, and we still got McDonald's.
That's nice, but are you okay? Are you like a wolf man? What the fuck is this? What kind of animal instinct is that? Dude went feral. He just ran up, smashed it, and then ran out of the room. What an asshole. Why were you crying? Dog person behavior. I'm saying, dude, this is like some werewolf shit. Get checked. Tonight is weird.
I would like to preface this story with the fact that I got no sleep before this event because we had to leave for the bus at 3 a.m.
Sure, so we're a
The
little
8th grade
delirious.
class I was in was having its big end of the year field trip around the state.
Uh-huh.
We had already made a few stops before going to lunch at a special diner. The diner had a singer who would interact with the audience and sit on the boys' laps, and it was funny watching them get flustered. While this was going on, it was time for our table to order food.
Okay.
I looked at the menu for a second set. I would like to order Freddy's Rough and Tough Burger.
Uh-huh.
What the heck are you talking about? The waiter replied, Freddy's Rough and Tough Burger? My friend chimed in, dude, just order a cheeseburger with bacon. No, it says Freddy's Rough and Tough Burger. Sir, I'm gonna need you to say what you want on your burger, or I will just move on to the next person.
Demanding Freddy's Rough and Tough Burger?
At this point has made up its mind to repeat the name of the burger over and over again in a commanding fashion as some sort of coping mechanism for the fact that the person waiting our table didn't know the names of each of the burgers.
Freddy's Rough and Tough Burgers. Freddy's Rough and Tough Burger. I am a rough and tough boy, and I want my rough and tough burger.
The music has stopped. Everyone is looking at me with shocked expressions as I mindlessly repeat myself.
Is this like the end scene in The Aviator? Like when he's like talking into the mirror? Hold on. It's a really sad movie, right? Because at the end of the movie, he just keeps repeating,
The way of the future.
I'm just imagining having like a fucking breakdown over Freddy's Rough and Tough Burger. I have to know the resolution. Why did we think it was called that?
The music has stopped. Everyone is looking
What
at
were
me
we
with
talking
shocked
about?
expressions as I mindlessly repeat myself. My friend ended up having to order for me as existential dread washed over my non-functioning brain.
What were we talking
Looking
about?
back on it, I still can't believe I was that out of it.
That's it. We don't even know what the fuck he was talking about. What the fuck is Freddy's Rough and Tough Burger? 0 results on Google. What the fuck were we talking about? ARG Burger? I'm genuinely curious. Where did you even get that phrase? Bro, you're being just like them now. I want to know what was on Freddy's Rough and Tough Burger. You know what's crazy? I wish if I was a more popular streamer, if I was like bigger, I would love to just call things, like just make that a normal thing. Because now I'm going to call things Freddy's Rough and Tough Burger, but nobody's going to know what the fuck that means. And if I explain it was on Cringe Confessional, nobody's going to get it. I like Freddy's Rough and Tough Burger. That's fun.
When I was a sophomore in college, I was seeing this girl for about 3 months.
Yeah?
She was a friend in my degree program who I saw every day for a class before our relationship evolved to something more, but still casual and respectful.
Yeah.
One day her and her best friend, who also lived in her very nice apartment complex, threw a holiday-themed party. I drove over, parked in my normal parking spot and enjoyed the party. There I met her best friend's ex-boyfriend, who was dressed as Cupid, and we hit it off.
You're AWOLing in 40 seconds? You think so?
I noticed that he's of a very similar build to me,
Uh-oh!
tall with long brown hair and blue eyes. Later into the evening, after many drinks, this girl and I escape to her separate apartment and do as drunk college students do.
25 seconds left.
About 5-10 minutes into our activity, she looks into my eyes and calls me by her best friend's ex-boyfriend's
you guys
name.
were right, but not
I
good on the
didn't mention
timing.
it, hoping to just continue, but she notices immediately and gets incredibly embarrassed.
Oh, no, man.
After stopping, the drinks immediately go to my head. I excuse myself to her restroom and immediately regurgitate everything in my stomach.
Oh, this is like a college party movie vibe here. Everything's going wrong at once. This is the montage moment where they're playing Sum 41.
I return to her bedroom and pass out until about 4:30 a.m. when I wake up and decide to leave. I had left my shirt in her room and my cell phone was at 1%.
Two chatters both came to the same conclusion, that this is a montage of In Too Deep by Sum 41. That's
When I arrive in the parking garage, I notice my car is not where I parked it. I had been towed, and after attempting to open my phone to call her or rent an electric scooter to get home, my phone dies. I proceed to walk of shame shirtless for 5 minutes back to my apartment at 4:30 in the morning. I had never felt so low in my life, but now I can look back and laugh.
I guess.
She would later apologize profusely and pay to get my car from the towing place.
That's very nice.
We are still friends to this day.
That's good. I'm glad it all worked out. That's a fucked up evening. I don't know if it's cringe, really. I wouldn't call that cringe. That's just like the worst night of your life. It's cringe, is it? It's not really his fault. He was hooking up with somebody. She called him by the wrong name. He went to go throw up. Tried to go get his car. His car got towed. Tried to get a scooter. Scooter didn't work. I don't know. That's bottom 5 nights. Yeah. I feel like that's on a short list of the worst nights of your life. That's not number 1, and I don't think it's cringe.
I am a second-year law student participating in a weekly meeting for a class that teaches techniques to persuade juries and learn the ropes of an actual trial.
Right.
At these weekly meetings, esteemed judges and attorneys from the community make time out of their busy schedule to judge us and give feedback so that we may become competent lawyers.
Sure.
Now, I am in this class with some of my friends, and this particular evening the guest judge had not arrived on time. My friend takes this time to go to the bathroom while I hatch a mischievous little bit. I peer through the glass on the door to the classroom and wait to see him round the corner, and when he does I will simply wait behind the door to give him a fright.
What sort of devilish caprice is this?
Delightfully devilish indeed. Sure enough, I spot my jolly fellow approach the door and quickly assume the position.
Okay.
The moment is upon us, and as I see the door creak open, I, in full suit and tie, jump out and practically scream ooga booga booga. It takes a full second to realize I am not Starling M. Friend, but in fact the guest judge who had happened to run into my friend on the way back.
Okay.
A well-respected member of the legal community was just greeted by some weirdo attempting his best Eustace Bag impression.
I was gonna say, like the old guy from Courage. That's what you did with the big mask. That's what we're doing.
I
Okay.
turned incredibly pale and tried to play it off like I actually meant to do that and not that I had made some mistake.
Oh, it's a custom thing here. We like to have fun. We do that to everybody in this place, right, guys? Ooga booga booga, right, everybody? Just like everybody.
He said nothing before walking to the
Oh,
podium.
God.
Sure enough, now in some circle of the legal community in my area, there are prominent attorneys and possibly judges that know my name as the guy that screamed ooga booga at the guest.
That's pretty funny. Hey, your mischievous ploy worked out, I guess, right? Just not on your intended target. Honestly, that's a good way to get remembered, though. They'll remember you forever. And if you have a big breakout, maybe you can make that kind of your thing, right? Adult cringe, it's 10 times harder. Yeah, that one's way worse. Everything else is like 7th grade, 6th grade, middle school. This is an adult with like ostensibly a career and ambition and a life goal. Like a path forward, you know what I mean? Fuck me, man. Hey, Coney, I have work in the morning. Any chance I could have the night off? You know what? Just for you. Go ahead and clock out. In fact, everybody clock out, because that's it for Cringe Confessional for tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It was a fun evening. Did you guys have a good time? A lot of non-cringe tonight, actually. A lot of totally normal interactions. You guys aren't as cringe as you think. But that's it for tonight. Let's say goodbye to... Hold on. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time. We do this once a month. Maybe you'll see another one in a month. Maybe not. Maybe this is the last one ever. I have a lot of backlog to get through, actually. This was like October, November of last year. There's a lot more left to do.